Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. I hope you're having a good week. And I wanted to bring your attention to a pretty good fight that was on DAZN at the weekend. And it was one of those fights, you're going to get these scraps that are between the hunter and the sort of slickster. And you're always thinking, is the hunter going to catch up with the slickster? You know, the slick guy who gives it all the angles, the shoulder rolls, Philly shell and all that. And the hunter who just, constant pressure, moving forward, cutting off the ring. And you're just thinking, who's going to get there? And especially if it's 10 rounds, rather than 12, you're thinking, is the hunter going to have enough time to catch the slickster? Well, it was one of those fights at the weekend. It was between Oscar Duarte and Alex Martin. And Duarte from Mexico was in the role of the hunter, and Martin was in the role of the slickster. And Duarte came in with 24 wins, 19 KOs, 1 defeat on points, 1 draw. And he lost a split decision. This is the only defeat of his career. Back in 2019, he lost to Adrian Estrella, split decision. And since then, he's gone, undefeated. Doesn't have any big names on his record. He's 27 now, so he's coming into his prime. Orthodox stance. And then you got Martin, who was coming in, was 18 wins, only 6 KOs, 4 defeats, but they were all on points. And Martin, southpaw, like I say, extremely sort of awkward and relies totally on reflexes. Very good reflexes, very fast, fires a lot of punches, but hangs his hands so low, and you're thinking, this guy's going to get clocked. Well, this was a good fight. Martin, by the way, was the older man, 33 years old, from Chicago, Illinois. Duarte from Chihuahua in Mexico, and the fight started, and again, Martin, very, very slick, very, firing lots of punches. And, both these guys laid out their tactics for all to see. Martin was going to be busy, was going to give lots of angles, lots of lateral movement, southpaw, so trying to make it awkward. And for the first round, I think I gave it to Martin. Duarte following him round, trying to get the range, trying to just get some rhythm going. In the second round, he began to find the range, find the rhythm, was getting closer, and you thought, this is interesting. Third round, more of the same. Fourth round, a little bit closer. So, the stalker, the hunter, is getting closer to the mover. And I think after 4 rounds, I think I hit 3-1 in favour of Duarte. And in the 5th round, there was a slight turning of the tide, because I think Duarte was cut, and Martin, possibly from seeing the blood, and it was from a punch, I think, Martin, from seeing the blood, suddenly really put his foot on the gas and began to stand his ground a bit more and land some very, very good punches. But in the 6th round, it's almost as if that was a wake-up call for Duarte, because he started to, again, Martin looking to get a bit more up close, but Duarte put his foot down. And it's almost as if he was saying, okay, you won that last round, I'm cut, but I'm still here. And he kind of took back the initiative in the 6th round. And from then, he didn't really relinquish it, because even though Martin, again, was doing some really good counter-punching, firing a lot of punches, they weren't all landing. But Duarte, you just got the feeling he was getting closer, and definitely landed the heavier hands, and appeared to be physically stronger as well. In the clinches, he looked a bit stronger. Not that there were that many clinches. This was this real slick stuff from Alex Martin. But then in the 8th round, from pretty much out of nowhere, Duarte landed an enormous right hand that kind of froze Martin. Martin was almost knocked out on his feet. His eyes didn't look dulled. It looked like he was still awake, and yet his body sort of stiffened, and it's almost like he adopted a sort of stand-up pose, and then collapsed to the floor. And when I say collapsed, he really did land on his side, and he looked out. It was weird, because, like I say, his eyes looked okay, but his body just wasn't reacting. His legs weren't reacting. This guy had never been stopped before. So he got up, which in itself was pretty remarkable. But it was over, essentially, because Duarte tore after him. I think it was a 3-punch combination with a straight right hand, landed bang on the side of on the side of the jaw there, put Martin down. The referee didn't even count. So there were 2 knockdowns in the 8th round. And so the hunter finally caught up with the slickster, and it was a good little scrap. So like I say, it's on DAZN. Go and have a look at it. But good fight, good styles. You know, good. He was a threat, Martin. He really was. But the styles gelled nicely. You know, very contrasting styles, but they come together. You know, opposites attract, you might say. But a very picturesque knockout. I mean, if you like your knockouts, you highlight real knockouts, this is one of them. Very, very good. So go and have a look at it. It's on DAZN. Leave your comments below if you saw it or if you're going to have a look at it. And as always, thank you for your time. Thank you if you have subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And also, if you could like the video, that helps us out as well. We want to build the channel up. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading your comments. In the meantime, take care of yourselves and bye-bye for now.